Yebo, Monday Wakona. Welcome to it, the Slicer TV podcast. Wherever you might be at this point in time, feeling the Monday blues and everything. Oh, sharp, all right, Klonda Ogui. I'm not alone, as usual. Gotta bring in and say what's up to my partner in crime and see how that dude is doing. It's
Oh,
about time. It's about that time.
what up,
Yeah, I
what
got
up,
a
what
little
up,
bit
what
of
up, what up?
swag, man. Got a little bit of swag.
iPhone now your swag legit. By you winter in dengue now. Good evening, good evening. What's happening? How you
Hey.
doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Otherwise,
Yeah. Your boy Sino in the building. Everybody all good. We are in the middle of May, meaning the winter is not knocking, it's here. The door's open, the fridge is open, you know?
bro, I'm gonna put it out. I know we've got a very full show today. We've got a special guest, a phenomenal person, a phenomenal woman, Nkosazana. Yeah, if you don't know, you are gonna know. But in Safuna Ilandika Yamakwinya Ambra.
Yeah, man. Like literally, like I don't just like pack them up for anybody. I made a special packet for you, and you're supposed to consume them today, not yesterday. But I believe there was theft. There was a crime committed along the way.
By professionals, Cesar, out of all people. One is a chartered accountant and an
Indeed.
executive at a company.
Who?
Imagine that embarrassment. The second one is an international artist.
I would call him an international thief going forward.
I'm with you there. I'm with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what's
man.
popping, Steels? How's your week been?
My week has been proper. Hey, it's been a lot of work. And obviously the transition because it's obviously we're getting into winter. It's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be a very cold one. I remember we're talking about it. By the way, the steak, bro. Oh,
Oh, word.
ooh, phew, rara, yes, easy. Do you remember I was saying to you in Dokbana, next time kuxhelwa inkomo ndizakubiza. Phambi koba kukhutshwe zonke ezaa nyama bathetha ngazo nezi kuncokola ngazo
The cat, the cat and cat,
sandlwana
and then
nentoni. To yimani
uh-huh.
maxheko. Sisa, khetha yonke le nyama uzayidinga for ibride. That was awesome, man.
I know. Word. All good, all good. I'm glad you
Oh
enjoyed
yeah.
and everybody enjoyed. No
Yeah,
doubt.
man. Yeah,
So
it's gonna be a crazy week though. Going back to the Eastern Cape, responding to what we put out on the podcast, and people said, "Listen, we also want to do our own giveaways." So I'm off to Etsomo again, and this time around, Kotatu Zawula, person I've been working with for quite some time, in the entertainment space, and he
mhm.
said, "Nam slice, so I want to add a little bit of something into this," and I was like, by all means. So tomorrow, Danduluka Wakona, going off there. And then on Friday, there is a fundraiser, golf in East London. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be heading from Etsomo to East London on Friday. And then on Saturday, Impolo Yabahlobo, which is the talk of the town as far as entertainment forum, Mhlobo and NFM on
Uh-huh.
Saturday, Black Impala. Yeah. So that's
Oh,
pretty
that's
much
that's that, that that's in GQ Gabs.
in
Gabs
Gabs,
PE for y'all that don't know. No doubt, Black Impala. So
yeah.
yo man, oof.
What's going on?
We're,
There's a lot. It's been a crazy week, yeah.
dude, like it's a crazy week. Like it's but before I get to the week, I just want to say it shows that there's no such thing as slow progress. You posted that video about that school and already you got feedback. So thank you for reaching out. Thank you that you noticed the little that
Mm.
those classes doing that we are doing to help here. So please come forward if you have a program you want to talk about, a school or children that wherever it is, reach out to us. We'll come to you, do whatever. That's why we're here. We are a community and we are together in this. You know what I'm saying? So thank you
And
for
of
for,
course,
for, for that.
yeah, of course. I know
So
the. Mm.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, no, I was
I
saying
talk too much.
I know that I was saying like I know that right at the bottom it's written to advertise here, but you can also just send whatever suggestion you have in terms of where you would like us to come and make a difference, you know, because it's we're not doing this because we've got money. It's because we have
Because we don't
um
have money.
yeah, we have a little bit of leverage, like from the people that we work with, because on both occasions, these kids, the school kids, are being helped by ordinary business people that are, some of them are my customers and all. You know, when I ask for a little something to contribute, just like I'm gonna ask when I land in East London tomorrow, if you've got a pack of pads, man, come drop them off at airport and go 1 o'clock.
Please don't forget that 1 o'clock at the East London airport, the man is arriving. Drop off your sanitary pads. It's going to a good cause. Please.
Oh yeah.
So, trending topics. Let me start all the way in the US of A. Hey man, what did he?
Are you
What
going
did he?
straight?
What did he?
Are you going for?
What did he? What did he? Like, hey man, like
No, he's in shade.
it's painful. Like sorry man, he rubbish and dust. You know, yinja. So
Dude,
so
man.
just to go on what we're talking about, um, a video was released by the CNN last week sometime of footage from a hotel passage. Diddy chasing Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, chasing her to the lift. She's trying to get away. And then he starts beating up on her, drags her, and all the above. And I mean, like, this guy's he's a big man, and like he's busy beating this girl on video. And I mean, just shows the level of how brazen he is. The fact that he knows there are cameras in the hallway. We all know that in hotels, but still proceeds to do that. You know,
Why you going?
I'm thank God she got away from him. I mean, it's a 2016 video apparently, but it got leaked now. But that's just some just horrible, man. It says a lot about the society we live in. You know, we have really horrible people amongst us, and yeah, man, I really hope Diddy gets what's coming his way. And then he posted a video
He posted a video like apologizing and nonsense.
and I'm like, you know what, man? There's nothing more arrogant and repulsive as a person who apologizes because they have been caught and they've been found to be whatever it is. I mean, that's not a real apology. He's only apologizing because he was caught and they saw it
caught.
and it's out there. I mean, like, hey man, please spare me with that nonsense. What a fucking rubbish. Excuse my language.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
next in
just
line,
a quick one.
yeah.
Just a quick one, Zizi. If anybody has if you have a comment, man, please just drop it because we're broadcasting this time around because it's a big night. We're broadcasting both on our YouTube channel, that is the Slicer TV podcast, and obviously on my Facebook page as well. So if you have any comments, as we always say, if you have questions that you would like to ask Mamtolo or Anele Mda when we speak to her, by all means. I mean, like, there's the comment section there. I've just shown it to you, so please, by all means, make sure that you do participate.
And if you have anything to say to us, if there's anything you want to add to our conversation, please do also comment. And yeah, we'll definitely read your comments and get back to your questions. So moving from Diddy, let's move it back home. And another trending topic is it's the hashtag is Ugcinile. I don't know who she is but what I believe about the story is that her ex-boyfriend, a dude called Krotman, and I asked myself why Krotman, because there's no Krotman.
Why would we call Krotman?
But also, I call Krotman that would do what he did. So this guy apparently he posted their sex tape, revenge porn as they call it, and it's trending and it's humiliating. It's garbage. I mean, like, and I really hope our law, Poppy Act, whatever it is, bazambamba pambane ukrotman. Actually, you krotman rubbish and dust. Because I equal understand what you do in private. I mean, that's your business. The next thing you're gonna be like, what? Come on, man. That's childish. You know? Yeah, man. That's the other. That's the one trending topic apparently today this week. Yeah, but there are others. Steels, hit me up with the other trending topics, but
Uh, there's also KB, who's trending as well. It's all got to do, like, so sometimes when I look at these things and look at how frivolous they are, I just figure like our marketing gimmicks are just crazy. I'm not saying it is a gimmick, but he's being accused of stealing some guy who had entered a competition, a singing competition song. So there's that
so
going
he
on, and
receives
he's
music
explaining
for
the
the
whole thing.
competition and then used it himself. Wow.
Apparently, there's a lot going
Allegedly.
on, and allegedly, you know what it is. Like we also have to be safe until we have Omawawa here to tell us, what our rights are, what we are allowed to say, and what we are not. Yeah. So there's that I found like around KB. I don't know. Who else is out there? There's quite a lot going on, man. And what you're talking
I saw
about,
that
apparently.
Mukwang is trending. What is he trending about? The former
Ah,
judge.
all I know is that he did say that, like, yeah, now, what did he say now? And then, Oba, like, he will be president one day, and it will obviously be Uktanda Kukatiko that he becomes. So I don't know whether he's entering the race somehow, or I don't know what he's really
I don't know.
trending
I think
about.
people seem to think by you pray tonight and then tomorrow you wake up as president. It doesn't work that way. And also, you're a
Apparently.
judge, man. Stick to the law. Politics is not for you. It's not easy. It's not. You can be a strong citizen of your community, do whatever it is, but do not think for a second that running a country is pap and place. It is not. It is
Very
not.
interesting. Yeah. It's a very crazy week in SA. It's a very crazy week. Everybody is like making final decisions in terms of who they're going to vote for, and obviously the still court cases that are going on around MK, and I think I picked up something around specifically the
Yeah.
guy.
So apparently the
Yeah,
Concourt ruled that, that Jacob Zuma of the MK party, he can't be an MP as a member of parliament, as much as he's going to be on the ballot as the leader of the MK party come elections. But the ruling today was that he cannot be a member of parliament.
And one of the
I
questions
think
that,
I think it has to do with the fact that he's a former president, something along those lines, or either that or the fact that he. I actually don't know the reasoning behind him not being
it's
able
the jail
to.
term.
But also, it's let's be honest. If I was him, he's dodged the bullet, because I don't know if people are aware that when you are president or vice president of the country, you get a salary for life, and the whole shebang that comes with being so the security, the vehicles, and all of that. You have that even after. So Tabambegi has a salary till today. Balegambete is vice president. So if he were to become a member of parliament, that would be taken away. By the way, so in all honesty, I think he's
Oh,
dodged the
yes,
bullet,
sir.
because no one wants to walk away from a salary, and I don't know what the salary is, but I'm sure it's a nice amount, and the security and all the above.
Good.
So perhaps it's not a bad thing for him, but his ego
Now,
took a knock, I'm sure, because you know him, man. He's all about the ego.
look, it's all good. Look, there's a lot. I mean, like, if you think about it, from him um, uh, straying away and going to start like a political party, while he says he's still a member of he's still a member of ANC and all of that, and there's just so much.
Makagxothwe.
Ungenaphi wena.
Not ANC, makagxothwe. Ayikho loo nto leyo. You can't listen, you sit on both sides of the fence because you are all about you. No, makagxothwe. You can't be a party of both parties. It just doesn't work that way. Makagxothwe.
Guess what? Our guest is in the building. Our
Okay.
guest is in the building. But before I welcome her on, I want to make sure that I play this little intro, which basically sums up what we are going to be talking about with her, and just outside politics and all kinds of things. Here we go. She is as rural as they come.
Nehaguka lokumnandi dlala nakwakho mna ufika iphume ithambo lomqolo litsolo ngathi ifuywe ngumuntu ongakhathali. Isilwanyana siyakhathalela. Ososidla apho uzomunca iintupha ngathi udla unkqiyo waserenkini.
My contribution as a leader must be seen to be able to empower young women.
Outspoken, stylish.
I greet you all this afternoon. Where is my photo, Ayisi? Where is it? Someone come here and explain to me.
Oh man.
Someone must do something, guys. Tetani.
Fearless. You can't mistake the Mawatela Queens, V-Mesh, Brenda Fassie, and scores of women of song that live within her. Did I mention her consistent energy?
It is the last lap. It is the last push.
And her unpredictable sense of humor. Join us as we speak to Anele Mda live on the Slicer TV podcast tonight at 7 p.m. The broadcast will be live on our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. See you tonight. Mom Tolo.
Low.
And I see you keeping it gangster there. I see you keeping it gangster.
You know, we'll see you.
Ubuyoqhoma erenkini namhlanje.
Jonga bengiphakathi kwabantu namhlanje all the time throughout.
Oh, wow. I was like, look, I've been looking at you doing all of this running around from when you started as if it was a dream, this whole thing, and I'm like wondering, where does she get all of this energy? And when I put together that that clip, I'm like thinking to myself, usezilalini ulifumana nini ixesha loyofita ihagu, uyokhangela umbona, ulwa no-Standard Bank, ulwa ne-IEC, ulwa ne-political parties, ne-restaurants ezibeka i-posters phezu. Well, can you just choose one thing? Can you just choose one thing, Mamtolo? Like,
Listen, you know, that's exactly, you know what, ne? That multi-layered melting combination of this cumulative, you know, spiraling of things, that's exactly who Anele is. Honestly, you know what, I'm that person who will be all over, but this direction, this sense of, she's doing it, like she is constantly on the business, she can't fail. So honestly, Dim uyandazi man, Dim lowana, like, yo, like ndinjeya ndixelelana xa ndilele inoba mna ndaphumla kwa-Avbob and they better be preparing a nice bed for me because that's where I will rest.
oh, wow. Mamtolo, there's so much to ask you about, but obviously I wanted to make this as lighthearted as possible because you've been going around the country doing very serious interviews, talking about, you know, when I was and all of that stuff. What do you eat in the morning? Like, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Okay, let me first tell you this, ne? I am so much like my grandmother. Like, like Auntie Lali, dude. And this has got nothing to do with elections. I live Auntie Lali. You know, Umakulam used to go to bed after 12. But I promise you, around 3, 4, you will be like literally hearing that there are footsteps that are walking around. And when you check out, she's out. You're like, dude, kungo-3 and awusanolala kutheni ndinjalo. So I'm that person who will be waking up. The other day I woke up around, I think it was past 2. Don't ask me why I was at my balcony past 2 mopping it, like mopping a balcony at 2 a.m. So sometimes I wake up and feel like putting up is to do, you know, when I'm in my element. Says is my thing. So I don't mind waking up and put my apron. I think I've got all the collection there, aprons. I'm up in Pretoria. So I will drop one of my aprons, go downstairs and put to Payana. And I will not Bambaya stand, like, fortunately. So you'll find me eating to more than you'll find me eating any other thing on a daily.
Wow. Wow. Mama, like you've got all of these things that you are juggling. And obviously having been these kindred spirits that we've been for such a long time and following each other's story. And I remember so many, and it's stuff like I really and seriously don't want to go back to. There have been stories like the way you leave your life on your sleeve. You've told stories that like would break my heart in Pendlin, and I'm like, you have this will. Like where do you get that? Because I'm sure like a lot of young girls out there would like to be like, she's dancing, she's climbing ladders, she's doing all of these things, but it obviously takes something, and to leave your life on your sleeve, which you do in your personal life, and you do it professionally as well, and as we've seen in recent videos, asking for pictures.
Can we have missed that one? Look, Slizo, I think more than anything, there's something that I believe strongly in. That one is one's one's authenticity. When you are yourself, you don't try and figure out anything. And I think I've been that person who says, regardless of the fact that majority of the time my life is on a national pedestal, my life is on a public pedestal, I'm not going to fail being a human being. I'm not going to fail being who I am. And I'm not going to take away from the fact that before I'm a leader, before I'm a national person, before I'm a global speaker, before I'm the transformational coach, before I'm that, there's a human being who is Anele, who is not exempted and immune to any of the things that all of us, are to go through or are to experience. But I think more than anything, for me, my childhood plays a great driving and inspiring element in the person that I have become. And I think when I always attribute to a very painful chapter of a child who had to fight in order for this vibrant, bubbly, positive, driven, happy soul Anele, who is a mature woman now, to emerge. And if it was not for the resilience of that child, maybe this Anele would not have come. And I'm that person who always say, we must never as a people, hold ourselves on the pains and the sufferings of the past, and we deny ourselves the joyous tomorrow that we can just be happy for. So I'm that person, and my happiness is informed by so many things. It's informed by, both a childhood that would not have been necessarily glossy and rosy and beautiful, but it is informed by a happy soul that I knew was protected in that child, regardless of the circumstances that that child lived in. But also, my grandmother was a happy person. My grandmother, we used to play. She was a happy, happy, happy person. And I think I took everything of leadership from her. I also took the happy person that she was. And she always find laughter in everything. She would now that we had cell phones, she would call me and be like, hey ma-ani sihleli apha silinde ubani bani, hey guess bani kungene ubani bani wenza into ethile andamhleka. On the phone. So that happy soul lives with me. And I think my childhood, as much as it was, taking, but I was a happy child regardless.
But we look at South Africa right now. The majority of the population is young people, and obviously, I'm sure what they're probably struggling with what what you are expressing right now. Because as you grow up and you go through traumas and you go through rejection, when you go through all of these things that you do not anticipate as a child. Today there's a story about revenge porn that is like trending on social media. There's obviously, I like when you say that, like when you are authentic, you don't have to figure anything out. So which means that like that essence, like there's a role that needs to be played by abazali, as a parent. And I know that you found that like as I say, as people who follow each other and talk like all the time, and I would like, when I'm feeling down, like, choosing content, I would be like, okay, if I go to Anele's page, there's probably something going on. No BC, look up principal angakhange zenalo, look say woolies, and all kinds of stuff. There's a young girl, there's a young Anele that's sitting in Khayelitsha, that's sitting Mkanduli, that's sitting Ezwelicha, that is sitting Mlazi. Like that thing for young girls, especially around pride. I don't know if you can speak on that.
Look, man, Sly, so one of the things I gave myself a responsibility of carrying is the one that says there will be no young girl who will lack an elder sister in my time when I'm alive. There will be no woman who will lack a peer to speak to when I'm alive. And there will be no young man or old man who would need, an environment to cough or to speak to and be listened without any interference. That will not get that opportunity when I'm alive. And that emanates from the fact that I know, we have been in each other's spaces, I think, for more than 12 years now, me and you. You know very well that I always speak about the fact that I would rather not, have a moment to myself than have someone who will lack a person to speak to and be listened, because I know how it feels when you need someone to be there and everyone just looks away. That experience that I got when I was young, when there will be no one, it was enough to last me a lifetime. And I don't wish that in my time, when I exist as a person, as I live, there could be someone who would rather choose suicide because Abo Anele are too high up to be accessible. I honestly believe that we may be strangers, especially maybe on social media, but we have an opportunity to convert ourselves to become family, because there's so much humanity that is needed. There's so much love and caring that is required, and there's so much support that will build us as a family, as a community, as a nation. And there's never, my grandmother used to say, there is never lack when you give of yourself to the next person. Compassion never ends. Love never ends. Patience never ends. So I derive my presence of always wanting to be there for the next person from knowing that if my grandmother would not have chosen me when I was not chosen by my own mother, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be where I am. Maybe there's so much in the multi-layer story of Anele that would have turned for the worst. But I think it's important also that we speak on the presence of intention and mind from people who need to be held hand by anyone. When you need someone to extend their hand, be present on the outcome that you desire, so that in your being supported, you are being supported in a full scale of the frame of presence of mind that is going to take you to where you need to go.
This English, Engaga, you went on TED Talks, you went on, you met Obama, like the importance of education. And I think most times people always think that like you get that from eskolweni kuphela, and I always make the example that like my father was a journalist, and people probably think I went to a Model C school or something like that. But that guy made me read his articles every day when it comes back. So that was me learning Isingesi and the manner of talking and all kinds of things. But like, we're being too serious. We'll come back to all of that. Why we troll Kangak? When you choose to, your relationship with the Orlando Pirates, why abandona abantu?
Listen, I will troll when I decide to troll, and my trolling is exceptional because what?
Because
But
it's not expected. It's not
that's the
expected. It's like,
thing.
this person running for a candidate to go sit in parliament, just been in parliament, and then the next thing is like, Molweni.
And you know what? The funny thing is that growing up at Kaya, it was always Orlando Pirates dominated, and I remember most of my young peers in my family, maybe if a person got influenced, maybe outside, maybe we school and be like, yo, hi, yo, it's chips and the immediately they would be crushed. But no, you're not gonna bring that thing here. We are Orlando Pirates through and through. I mean, I remember I was actually reminding my daughter when we were home. I'm like, actually, I must take this Orlando Pirates. My grandmother bought, and I made her buy that. She bought one of those team frames where you would have Williams Okpara, Gavin Lane,
Yeah.
and it was in my home at my home. It's there. It's actually at home in the lounge area of the old house. And I was like, actually, I must take this and bring it to Pretoria so that every
To
time
Pretoria.
I'm speaking on Pirates War, winning any match, I'm sitting behind it so they can see that I'm an old supporter and an old hater of Kaizer Chiefs. It's been like that for a very long time.
But Mamdolo, how are you gonna lure people over to actually like vote for you when if they are non-Orlando Pirates followers or fans?
Listen, the thing about Pirates and Chiefs, it's not hate. It's love and hate, right?
Mm.
For instance, there's no way people that support Kaizer Chiefs would choose not to vote for such an astute, sober, leader of impeccable prowess and propensity, and choose what? I mean, on the basis of Kaizer Chiefs, there's no way.
Ngenxa ibanikiwe, guys, like really
Yes,
the 29th ka May.
yes, because of 6 nil, I paid the price, guys. Come on, I need those votes from Kaizer Chiefs. Don't pay too much attention on the soccer side.
By
Focus
the
on the
way, my Tolo,
yes,
the people that obviously on both platforms on the Slicer TV podcast and as well as on Facebook, they actually can comment if they have questions that they would like to ask you.
yes, please. You can.
Yeah, we actually do have our chats open so that if you have a message that or a question that you really would like to ask, or Anele, as you can see, we are obviously not getting serious. Like as I say, like people are so serious out there. Like you know, it's
Absolutely.
there's so much tension going into politics because if you were to look, obviously there's a lot of news around electioneering, but you also do pick up the panic and the impatience in the population in terms of things that are currently happening. You will go to crime, you will go to accidents, you will go to issues of GBV because we are in disagreement and stuff like that. So there's obviously you and Mculu can go. Like what the hell, bruh?
Bruh, like what the hell? Ask again. Because
Like what?
wow.
Come on,
We're
tell
getting
Queens. Like what role like does umculo like play in it? Obviously does something for you.
yeah.
I ended in the career that I am in, as I say to people, because music saved my life. That's all I know. There were toys, but like most of the time it was always my father's records, and that's also where I learned. I got my political schooling because as a journalist, he had access to albums that were banned, your Miriam Makebas, which I heard on one of your promos, your Nina Simone's, people who were actually activists. There's obviously a role that music plays in your life. And as I listen, it's not just a particular genre of music.
Look, my grandfather who worked with Utadomkulu Oliver Tambo was a parliamentarian in the Republic of Transkei. and he used to come back from Mthatha on Fridays evening, and he would leave after Sunday lunch, after we came back from church. But between Friday evening, when he arrives, before he goes to meetings, I would sit on his lap in the lounge, and he would play those big what were called records.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and in his music, it would be your Marvin Gaye's, your Dobby Gray's, your the Spinners, your Teddy Pendergrass, like the whole entire classic stuff of greatest artists of soul ballads and ballads. And I remember most of the time when he would do that, he would literally come in the house, change, wear his comfort clothes, go to the lounge, and he would be obviously a tail behind him, wherever.
Oh.
And he would sit there he had an office next to the lounge, so he would sit there and just put music. And then some days he would just say to me, come, let's go listen to our songs, and we're not gonna say anything.
Oh.
So I think there's a translation that he imprinted of what music is to a person. And I think the variety then comes now from my own navigation of keen interest in figuring out different genres and whatnot. I mean, I can wake up, for instance, my kids sometimes get very much annoyed. I mean, literally at 8 o'clock I could be blasting Jezzo Brothers just for the fun of it, for no apparent reason. But I think there is a soul soothing element and comfort that escape that music has given me. I remember when I went to Holy Cross after my grandfather sent me to a Holy Cross from Bizana. One of the things that my grandmother had was E-radio, the one that used to play with ever-ready power battery. And I remember yes, every time I used to be so diligently making sure that I put it either around umlilo, just so if man bushushu and it recharges again.
Of course.
And every time for me to listen to the radio, I always make an excuse and say to umakhulu, I'll be like, yiza umakhulu kaloku uzongena imiphanga ngoku yiza lambu yapha phezulu enzela uzomamela iradio. Ndifuna uyohlala phaa apho kuzokhala khona iradio myself, there isn't. And I think both from my grandfather when I moved from Bizana and to my grandmother when I went to Flagstaff, I found people that had something to do with music. Obviously, my grandmother was more church vibes, as much as my grandfather also was a church person, but he's the person who introduced me to the good taste of music, and I've transferred that to my kids because now they love music now.
Oh wow. We obviously have to touch on this, as much as I was saying that, like, I just want to talk, have a chat with you, Mamdolo, like, just outside this whole space of politics and stuff. You've taken a bold step, like you are fearless, and obviously that's probably owing from all of this attribute and these values that you've learned and been taught. To be in 2024, after 30 years of democracy in South Africa, and we find capable people being shunned, and basically the entire population, to an extent, being left with nobody who says, like, I lift up my hand and I don't care whatever happens to me. When did you take that decision, and why?
Look, noting 30 years of democracy, Slizo, means that one way or the other, whether we like it or not, it is imperative that we take a moment to reflect on the journey that was. And in reflecting in that journey, we have to use lenses of honesty. We have to use lenses of truthfulness. We have to use lenses that are about South Africa first and its people above any other political party formation and in any other political allegiance and loyalty. And for me, when I left active politics, 13 years ago, it was not as a result of anything. It was not as a result of having been pushed out by anyone. I'm not pushable to start with.
I was just about to ask who would try to push you. Who would be out? I would love to see that bold person who's gonna be like,
so it gave me an opportunity to be able to put myself outside, because sometimes when we've been too much into something, you lack the necessary ability to use sharpened eyes to reflect on things honestly, because you are affected, you will always be subjective. So being outside of active politics for 13 years gave me an opportunity to look with an external eye from outside. How does things look like, and what exactly needs to be done, and where are issues that are happening? And I couldn't miss feeling the sense of a deepened state of despondent in the nation, because it is being driven by the lack of leadership that is accessible and available and present to the people of South Africa. The gap between the so-called leaders and the people who give them the authority is unimaginably big, and no one even dare cares about it, because people are in these offices for their own credentials. People who lack credentials, they are on a cause of building credentials for themselves, because they are busy writing obituaries that when they are gone, they want multi-layered documents that will be just compiled as their obituary. That's how self-consumed people are. But over and above that, Slicer, I couldn't miss the displaced young people of the cry of the displaced young person in South Africa. There is an intentional, deliberate plot to distract a young person from occupying the space in South Africa with a sense of leadership that is required, that must be sober, that must be vigilant, that must be at all material times seized with the conditions of its time, in order to employ and provide solutions that will match the challenges that young people are faced with. But instead, we've got young people that are being pushed into peripheral margins so that they are not at the main landscape, where they question things, where they become the irritation to the status quo. And this is done because we do not have old leaders or the elderly that is cognizant of the task of ensuring that the baton is safely placed to the next generation whilst they are still in charge. So we are having that unignorable state of brokenness, where it's even overlapping to breaking the next generation of leaders. And I couldn't stand by the wayside and not raise my hand and say it stops, and stops right now. I'm not saying I'm bringing a miracle, but I'm saying we will not have silent voices when we are called to speak. Conditions are forcing us to speak. When there is anything that requires citizens to stand up, you can count on Anele to be there. When there is anything in my country and in my people's country that messes with the future of this country, the leaders of this country, which is young people, you can count on me to be there, because I know if us, this generation, does not use our voices to carry the silent cries of the coming generation, we will not fail our own generational mission. We will also fail the next generation's mission, because our silence would have meant that we were in cahoots with the agenda of ensuring that there is no preparation of the next layer of leadership that is being produced.
English. Umntana ka-principal, guys.
No, 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 ngalibali.
Ukubekela
Oh, no,
yonke
no.
into. Yo, man. Like, there's obviously, I mean, and I saw you doing fundraising from ordinary people that were saying, here's 50 Rand, Anele. And all of this, like, you obviously have something to say or to promise in terms of how you are going to you know continue to actually dispel all of the stuff that we are talking about, the leadership vacuum, the issues that we have with education, we also have the national health insurance thing that's coming up now. So all of those things, like, how are you representing the person that on the 29th is going to say, I put my ex next to you, Anel?
Firstly, so I am going to be as accessible to people of South Africa like I'm accessible now. One thing about me, I'm not a person who vacillates. I'm not a person who changes according to the environment I'm in. Generally, I'm a person who has made it her way of being a leader, that no one must say, because I know when you raise your hand to serve the people, to me, leadership is not a status. It is not it is not a title. It is not an obsession of how I want to differentiate myself from the rest of the people. It is rather a sacrifice of a call to serve. It is me standing and saying, South Africa will not lack people who can sacrifice for her when I am here as a person. How I will be accountable to the people of South Africa who would vote for me when I become a member of parliament in the next administration is through the national rotating imbizos that I will hold with the grassroots members of society in all provinces, because remember, serving in parliament, I will be serving all the people of South Africa. When I take the oath in June this year in Parliament, I will be taking
I
oath.
like that. When I
Absolutely. On this side, we know. So when I'm taking the oath in June, I'll be taking the oath as a member of Parliament of the Republic of South Africa, representing those who voted for me and those who did not vote for me. So I will be accountable to those who voted and those who did not vote for me. The most important thing that I need to say is that after the elections and after we have been inaugurated as members of parliament, I will unveil to South Africa my accountability plan, which is something that they can hold me with, which is also a mechanism that I have had to develop, because it is not enough that I will be voted to go in parliament. I must also proactively come with a plan that is going to hold me through the people, to be accountable to them, and I owe it to the people of South Africa to do that. So the mechanism to ensure that I account will be through the imbizos that I will hold twice in a year, first in the first 6 months of the year and the second 6 months of the year. These will be rotational, being held in different provinces, but also they will be multi-sectoral, meaning which all segments of society will be represented. But also over and above that, I've got civic organizations that I am going to be building collaborative relations with, which are grassroots related. I mean, grassroots, encompassed, which will make sure that I am reachable to the people, and which people can also use to ensure that they cascade things that they need to reach my attention through those organizations, but also individually people. And also, when I'm a member of parliament, both my email address and my cell phone number is for public consumption. So there is absolutely no way that I am going to be a privatized person, because I believe that me being a person who knows that I come with integrity, that integrity, I must put it out there for people of South Africa to see it and test it, and it must pass the test of time.
Mamtolo, we've run out of time. We've decided, though, as production, that we actually are going to spend over an hour and just conversing and going into deeper into Anele. There are so many layers. I mean, like when I was putting together that promo, I'm thinking to myself that there's fashion, there's like you are awake. I don't want to use the word woke. You are awake. I mean, like there's no facet of not even the country, of the world, because you are this person who's going to be out and going to do TED Talks. You are this person who's going to call up Michelle, yo girl, put on your stuff, let's go get some stuff and all of that. You obviously have some words that you really, because as an advocate, and what I appreciate about you is that I always say to people, I talk from experience. Like, people will get annoyed when you say that, like, when this happened to me. That is the best position that you can speak from as a person, more than referencing like whatever literature, or academic papers that are there. Your experience is the best teacher, and you've been that bold, that woman that says that, like, I'm sure there are plenty of them out there that look at you, that do not interact with you, but they say like, "Ndifuna ufana nala sis, ndifuna ufana nala mama." I would like for you to just have those last words. And I know that I'm asking this a second time. I guess it's just how phenomenal you really are, accessible, your heart on your sleeve, just those words.
Um, Look, I think more than anything, Slicer, for me, humility is an act of recognizing your greatness, but not being intimidated by it, and not allowing it to take the bed, to occupy the better of you. And I think through humility, for me, comes a lot of things, and amongst those, it is this honor of always presenting yourself in a way that will make the next person feel as though when they see you, they see themselves. When you stand, it's like, I have also stood. Because as much as it might be that you are in fact at a different pedestal, but you forget that pedestal and present yourself as just. And I think the intentionality for me about that is always to ensure that we keep having this crown that we pass to one another, so that all of us can feel how it feels to be recognized, how it feels to be celebrated, how it feels to be known, how it feels to be seen, how it feels to be cherished, how it feels to be embraced, how it feels to know that when I run to her and say, Sis Anele, nguwe lona, can I take a picture? Can I call my mom? Oh, my mom loves you. Can I call my mom? Please talk to her. She loves you. Even when you don't know what state is Sis Anele at that moment, but Sis Anele will remember that this person is not disturbing me. This person is attracted to the force that lives in me, that services them even at a distance. And that is so important for me, because we can't be big sisters who do not want to be bothered. We can't be mentors and coaches who do not want to be tapped on. We can't be these, accumulative vessels of so much wisdom that we do not want to share. We cannot be selfishly sharpened, built, nurtured, and molded to be these people that so many doors have opened for us, both by the grace of God, but also by our own hard work. But we want to privatize those things because we think we had it hard. Other people must also have it. I'm a believer, Slicer, in being a tar road for the next person, even though there was a gravel for me. I believe very much in that. I don't want to create obstructions where people must fall. Where I fell, I rise and take building blocks to close the ditch so that the next person may be able to cross smoothly. That for me is service to the next generation, to the next person, but it is also service to myself. Ndizele ndingumama. I need to prepare paths for my children. I need to lead in an empathic, compassionate, loving, warm, embracive way, so that when I'm no more, my children can be carried by the seeds of my compassionate that I left on other people, who must rise and be compassionate to my children. So I cannot expect love when I don't give it. And I cannot expect compassion when I do not share one. I cannot not be warm to people, yet I would expect one day that my children must be loved and be accepted and received with a great sense of warmth by strangers. I am that stranger who makes you feel as though we've known each other for so many years. And it doesn't take anything from me when I do that.
Wow. Mamtolo, mapanekazi fumba lempongo liyanuka. Mamthenge, manibulele, uchaba lixesha, as they say. But obviously we will have this. It's very impersonal right now. You are sitting there, I'm sitting here. I definitely will make time after you are in Parliament. I'll pay you a visit, and obviously we'll sit down and probably it's been a meeting. So by the meeting at Kems Bay, PG,
with an honorable member.
With an honorable member after
What?
doing some CSI work.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, phenomenal woman. I made references to people like Abo Brenda Fassie, Oma Hotela Queens. There's just so much to say, and I'm quite an appreciative and a very expressive person, I really appreciate having you, and we definitely will do it again. I'm just gonna bring in my partner in crime, Usisa Nondumo, in closing. I don't know whether he will have like questions.
Kunzima sizwe man ungenova go Anele yeah man, like uxhomile, and I wish you all the best of luck, and most importantly I love how you don't say you say when I'll be in Parliament. You say when after the election, when I win whatever seats I need to win, when you're not throwing it in doubt. You are confident, and I love that. That's and I wish you all the best, and I'm confident that you will. Sizakubona pha eParliament uthulisa abantu be-EFF kabe ngqolo bezamuphazamisa. Yeah.
Banabo nobumbintshi futhi banabo nobumbintshi sisa benike ndambona ebhizi esusila ndikayive.
Simile for some reason. Can you hear me? I don't know what's going on. Oh. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you are on the live. I think we're having a technical glitch of some sort. Oh, Steels, can you hear me? Okay, I think we're having a bit of a technical glitch there. I'm sure my partner in crime, Mr. Slicer, will be back soon, and we'll be able to continue. But man, how amazing! Firstly, let me talk about this whole independent candidates that has come into to our elections now. We didn't previously had that. Previously, it was solely a party voting system, so you could only be parties could run for elections, and now that they've opened it up to independent candidates, I think it kind of like throws a span in the works. Like it kind of opens it up for like, I don't know how to explain it, man, but it's like when you're in a political system, party that is, you have to grow in stages and stages to get to the leadership of it. And there's no independent thinking. Everything is a collective. You are in parliament based on being voted in by the party. So you have to follow party rules. There's no independent thinking. It's a collective and they vote for it. But now that there's independent candidates, the world is our oyster. I think it's going to take some time for them to really get good traction, but we'll have some of them in individual seats in parliament, and that's exactly what we need, And I'm looking forward to that so much. I'm just trying to get a sense of what is happening with the technical so that I can give you my review, but failing which, we shall possibly add the reviews of the music and the series. So this week it was going to be a TV series and obviously an album review that is coming up. So I'm gonna definitely share those with you when the time comes. Thank you very much. I think now is our time.